down. By chance you're new to Yleaderboard series this morning, it is YFM's innovative radio programming content designed to develop the youth and provide inspiration to all our listeners, both young and old. Now, stats reveal that Ghana's population is young, with about 61% being 30 years and below. The ILO, that's International Labour Organization's Youth and Future Work-Up Survey, shows that about 1/3 of the youth in emerging and developing countries live their future work life with fear and uncertainty. And I always add this, why? Because there's not really much to learn from. Now, YFM is Ghana's #1 youth urban station. We have year-on-year dominance when it comes to radio programming content. We've done this for 16 years. Our brothers and sisters have been at it, but the triangle has been in there for a while. Kumasi just recently celebrated 10 years in the game. Takrady, I'll tell you how old they are. They don't like mentioning their age, but Accra is 16 years. So we deemed it a big responsibility about 4 years ago. We've been going at this for 4 years, man, 2020. The plan to add to our content something that will bring people who have achieved a lot in their space. Come and tell their stories. I mean, when I say tell their stories, come and share the truth behind the journey they've been on, how they got there, the challenges they faced. In that course, we just hope and pray that somebody listening somewhere takes inspiration from it. I mean, it brings hope, it brings meaning, development, and leadership coaching tips to our vibrant listenership. Follow us on radio and across our digital platforms. So that's the reasoning behind Yleaderboard series. And we've had some great brands on board supporting us. Shouts going out to our former sponsors, our bank. MTN has been with us since day one. They're still with us everywhere you go. A big thank you to some of our partners, Zoha Studios, the multimedia partner for Leaderboard series. Yeah, just like we do, if you have questions for my guests along the line, kindly text me on the WhatsApp 02022222073. We're live on Twitter. We're on Facebook as well. The hashtag is Yleaderboard series. Just send it through and I'll get it. So to my guest this morning, referred to in high regard by many as the Meister and some as Meistermind, Bernard Kafui Sokwe has earned his moniker for exceptional excellence in the fields of brand marketing, entrepreneurship, cultural impact over 15 years. Now, Bernard's seasoned expertise as a brand marketing professional spans over a decade. A decade of career experience working in telecom, telco, e-commerce, fintech, entertainment, and the digital creator economy. Bernard began his career in advertising, 4 a.m. Sachi-owned agency, moved to Vodafone Ghana, where he spent 3 years of his early career days as brand specialist. That's around the time I met him, you know. Marketing manager, pioneering the digital professional, responsible for creating the first ever digital strategy, the first youth mobile telephone product for the telco giants he worked with then. A feat that earned him many accolades and rewards, set off his career and propelled him ahead of his time into many leadership roles, a slew of tech companies after Vodafone Ghana, namely Tonaton, Fido, which I didn't know, and Hotel. Bernard worked at Twitter, now X, a senior partner, manager for Africa before he rebranded it to X. He was famous for amplifying the work of Africa's most influential voices across the sports entertainment sectors. Bernard, in his role, cemented the need for global recognition of Africans. One thing I really commend, channeling his influence amongst African youth, he amplified over 80,000 African voices online through his impactful Africa to the World campaign and off the platform. Aside the many entrepreneurial ventures he's involved in, currently Bernard is the CEO and founder of Jumbo Spaces, which is Ghana's first digital creator hub incubator, supporting African youth and nurturing a community of African creatives to build a career for content creation and creative work. He also doubles as a brand director at Juventus Academy, where he nurtures talented and passionate African children to become footballers with opportunities to play competitive football around the world. Guys, my guest is right here. I'm super humbled. Meister, how does it feel? I know this is not the first time someone is reading things that you've done. I mean, We all had plans growing up, but how do you feel at this point when you sit and hear people speak about you? So many things you've done. How does it make you feel?
There's something that my friend calls me. He says I'm a corporate asharo.
Yeah, like you've done everything, right?
Hopping from company to company, experience to experience, and I just think it's in my personality. I get bored easily, and I'm always looking for the next thing that would give me that high of fulfillment. Yeah, so I think that's how I just end up trying new things, and I don't say no to things. I like to say yes, and I'll elaborate more on that. But I like to say yes mainly because I believe that when you say yes, when someone asks you something and you say yes, when you say no first, you eliminate an opportunity to even know whether you like it or not.
That's true.
But then when you say yes, you can now try it and know you don't like it. So next time you'll be like, oh, I've tried it before, I don't like it.
It gives you the experience.
Yeah, it gives you the experience. So even job interviews, even sometimes when it's not even a match, and I liked probably the brand and I see it, I'm like, okay, I'll come. And then I probably go and we establish that it's not it's not something that I want to do.
You know what?
But I build a relationship, and then I could do business with the CEO or basically impress them to the point that I might get a contract or something.
Have you ever tried an opportunity, not get that opportunity, and then in the course, due to how you approach things, maybe gotten a different opportunity carved for you through that?
Yes, it happened quite a number of times. I go somewhere, I can't mention names, but I went somewhere and they didn't think like I was the right person for that. But in the process of telling them what I do, it struck a chord, and the guy was like, oh, we are actually working on something like this, and we want to work with your establishment to partner on this. And before you know it opened up a whole different space for me to be doing something. And so sometimes different actions open up different avenues for you to explore, and then that's how before you know you're doing something that you didn't even realize you're doing.
After reading all you do, one thing that comes to mind is busy. You come off as a very busy person, obviously, because you have so much on your plate. But in between all that, how do you cool off? What do you do? I remember, I think the first time I met you, we played basketball together on Legon campus. This was, I think, my final year in uni. And this guy was very busy. I mean, you'd see him on social media. You see him at events, mostly doing the backstage job. And then I come to play basketball, and he's there, actually playing. And in between the game we played, this was a one-on-one game, by the way. He was just there training. I was also training. We decided to just touch base and start playing. In between that, Meister would pause, get on his hands-free. Back then it was those ones that the customer service ones, He would pause and go make a call, come back. So in the course, I'm asking him, so how do you do this? It was sort of like a mini interview. Very, very busy guy, but I know, yes, so like a lot of things have gone down, and years ago, I knew it was basketball, but now how do you do it? What helps you cool off in between?
I think I make time. So this is one thing about me. I in the early starts of my career, I was working overtime, just always at work. Any chance I get, I don't sleep. But I make time for myself now. I make time to sleep. I make time for the kids. I make time to cycle. I make time for things like family, whatever. I just block it because. Not to make this very morbid or anything, but I've seen losses in my family. I lost my pops, my grandma, and my pops was very was an awakening for me because my dad was as busy as me, always on the move, and then just out of the blue, COVID took him.
Wow.
And then I'm like, okay, so what's all this hustle for? And he wasn't having time for a lot of things, even for family. So I'm like, I'm going to make a difference. You can be busy, but if, God forbid, something happens to you today,
everything you're working for,
life will go on. Yeah, and everything you're working for just halts, and then people take over. And then so I really do, intentionally make time for myself. And when I'm tired, I sleep. I sleep. I don't even fight it. I sleep.
Yeah, you just take a brief moment off and then you rest.
Yeah.
Great. I want us to start. I mean, we know things you've done on paper. Anyone who picks a phone to Google, you will probably read about all the things that we've mentioned. But I want us to go deeper, stuff that are not on there. Growing up, did you have interest in any of this you're doing now? If there was a different interest, what was it? What did you like growing up?
Okay. when it comes to advertising, marketing, and all that, as I speak, you realize that like at each point of my career, it opened up a new view of what I could do, and then I went into that. So like when I started, I didn't know I'll be doing what I'm doing now, like the Jamba Space and all that. I just know the basis of my personality is that I love art. I'm that kid that I come back from school, my mom will be so upset because I've drawn sketches in
all over your books.
Yeah, all over my book. My teachers, even when I write, let's say my name Bernard or Kafwe, I will go over it with the ink to the point that it becomes so smudgy, and my teacher will be so upset. Like, I just loved art. I like to draw, I like to color, I like to paint. So I've always been that art guy, and it's like it graduated to even when I got to secondary school and did visual art and all that. But
you
even
did visual arts in school?
Yeah, I did visual art. But I mean, before we come to visual arts, what I wanted to touch on was, I grew up. I was born in 1987.
I didn't want to do it, but yeah.
you see that? Have you seen that Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart thing. So, damn.
I almost said that. I almost did.
Delphina looked like she was
the
about
80s?
to say it, and she just put him.
Now we don't really say when, but once you mention the 80s, you were born in the 80s.
I'm 37.
But you were born in the 80s. Wow.
Please don't say it like that. I'm Gen Z at heart. I still do TikTok challenges.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure. How old are you? I'm sure you're born like.
I mean, I was born in the 90s. That's all.
Okay, but still, you were probably born in a time where everybody in Ghana was watching one station.
Yeah, it was just one.
It was just probably GTV.
GTV, yeah.
And then now, later on, TV3 came to add, and then Metro, and then it was just like 3 stations. Now they're like more than 50, I'm sure. Yeah. So that means we all were glued to the same things. Same adverts, and some of these adverts stuck in our minds. Like, we all remember the sunlight in water. Like, remember the fan milk,
honey?
What's the fan milk one? I don't know. Fan milk or something. Food for, and then the Milo. Then they had the Kwasasa Yos, and all those things that we all used to watch. We even knew the programming. Like after Akan drama, this, then Talking Point, and then Sunday movie, and all that. And everybody, the whole country is glued at specific time. So advertising, that's probably my first time seeing what advertising marketing was, and they stuck in my head like as I grew up and as I learned creative writing and I learned to do scripting for plays and acting and all that. I saw that it all comes sort of pieces together. Now fast forward, I went to study visual arts in school. And visual arts is one of those courses that people just thought that, if I did visual arts, you failed. You get what I mean? So I get to school and they ask me, I get to Presec and then they ask me, but why you choose, or how much did you get? Like, I'm like, I got 7 1, and then they're
which
like,
is not usual for.
So why do you do visual arts? I'm like, I love art. Like, I want to do art, and so I basically from the beginning, you just grew up thinking that you don't have a future. But me too, and I'm still like that. I do things based on fulfillment. Then the money comes later. Like, I just want to feel fulfilled. Sometimes I even get so carried away that it's my business partner who will bring me back and be like, what are you making from this? You're just so eager to do it, but you have to figure out the business angle of it. And I think a lot of creatives are like that. I don't know, I think I'm getting...
It's fine. No, it's fine. We're going to get to that talk in a bit, but I love how you just started on it.
When I start talking, I just go and I even forget where I started from.
I enjoy that. Basically, we're talking about your interest. It's clear you didn't have a specific one, but you were just artsy. You just loved
artsy, exactly. And that's what drove me into
loved to create, and you picked inspiration from all the things that were happening. At least it's fun to know that you were paying attention to your surrounding, and focusing on things you could do. You work on one in the moment in the course. Another opens, your interest builds and builds. I want us to stay on the school tangent. After you did the visual arts in Presec,
I went to KNUST.
You went to KNUST.
I went to do communication design. Communication design was basically graphic design, but they just changed the name a bit. And in graphic design, you choose between advertising and packaging or animation. And I did advertising and packaging. And I think that's where the advertising think struck, because there are some courses where they would be teaching you how to think of like big concept, themes, ideas, and then like it really put me into the space of that. So after school, your goal is to enter an advertising agency and work.
Yeah.
I came out of school thinking that I just want to be a graphic designer.
Just work freelance and
just design, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Illustrator, all the design stuff.
Because back then, anybody that finishes comms like you did would want to get to maybe Apex or
exactly. So but I came out of school, and then right after coming out of school, I used to do work on campus with Echo House. That then it was Echo Magazine. Beryl was in my hostel, and I used to do parties. So I used to I used to organize parties, and Beryl used to just see me and just feel like, oh, this guy has like a following, like people know him, that kind of thing. Those times Facebook we used to use, had a lot of people on Facebook. I just post my parties, it gets full. So she saw me one day and she was like, oh, I want to have a conversation with you. I'm building this magazine and I think you'd be a great addition to our team. Can you join? So I came on board. I'm like, what do you want me to do on the team? She said, oh, I don't know. What can you do? Like, you have a follower. How can you help? I could design. So I said, okay, I'll do some design. I can write. So I said, okay, I'll start writing some of the articles. And then we'll just look for opportunities. But then I also said, I do parties too. So why don't we do a party for Echo House?
Instead of just the mag.
Yeah, why don't we do a party? Because the mag was just one of those, excuse me to say, boring, like school mags talking about some new block they built, some trivia, just a usual magazine. I'm like, let's do a party. And she said, what does that look like? And I said, okay, let's do a themed party. Let's do a red and white party. So we did a first themed party called Echo Fire and Ice. I named it, I got the models together, I designed the posters, all that, and we put a lot of people's pictures from the party in the magazine.
And it got people to go and see the
picture. It caught fire, like the whole campus. Everybody now wanted to buy the next edition because the poster, I even designed the poster. I wish I had a picture here. Like I just put my hand on a sheet and took a picture, and then I filled in like a sheet and put in the pictures and said Echo House Magazine, like see yourself in the next edition, and then we put the posters all over campus. Everybody, like when the magazine came out, in like 2 days it was finished.
It was sold out.
And you know those times, like they would order it from a print house in, I think, type or something. It comes. So if they ordered, let's say 1,000, they just know that's all they had. Like, and then they sell and they make their finish 2 days, and then that's when like it started
catching
like
fire.
And that was like my first stint at doing like real work, because the party thing was fun for me. I take my pocket money, which was very small, come and organize a party, and then so I'll be broke till the party is over, and then I take the profit, and that's why I used to live in school till I do the next party. So where were we?
School.
I came out of school, so I was going to be a graphic designer, and when I came out of tech, Beryl, because I designed a couple of the magazines.
This is Beryl from Echo House.
Yes, Beryl was having a conversation with Tigo. She was trying to put a Tigo ad in the magazine. Okay. And as she was showing them the magazine, they had just brought a new agency from El Salvador and Guatemala, a Latin American agency, because the CMO then at Tigo was from Latin America. Okay. And he had said, you know what, I want to work with my agency. So
he's bringing them in,
And now these guys saw the magazine and they said, oh, we are new here. We're just about to take over the Tigo account, and we're looking for designers. Who designed your magazine? And they said, oh, we have a guy, Bernard, Cafe, like. And so she called me and she was like, listen, I have a job for you. You just came out of school. This is gonna be like a first job. So okay, I'm excited. Yeah. And then they introduced me to them. I sent my portfolio. The guy said, oh, they love me. Then I called one of my friends. They wanted 2 designers. One of my friends, Leslie, he joined me, and then we both started work there as graphic designer. So I stayed at home for probably 7 days after leaving. I've just been working since I came out of school. Like, that was my first job. The salary wasn't that big.
I was going to ask that.
I don't know if I should even mention the salary. But
you remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. That time it was 700 CDs, but it felt like 7,000.
No, that was 7 million back then.
Yes,
right?
That was like 2011.
And that's 7 million.
I don't know if they've done
that time. No, that time
they had done the
denomination. Yes.
Yeah, but still,
so 700. It was like big.
It's because it's still more than national service money.
Yes, I mean what that money could buy then.
Yes,
was huge.
I bought a BlackBerry with that money. Like,
a Bold?
can't remember.
You can't remember?
Bold. Yeah, BlackBerry Bold. Oh my God, this guy. You see, I'm sure you're born in
I
77.
swear, my son was born earlier than the body. But yeah, this was you having a plan to finish and just pretty much do graphic design,
Yeah,
what
just
you
wanted to do
loved.
graphic
Okay,
design.
but
Yeah.
once again, your effort put before you an opportunity you weren't even looking at,
Yeah.
and you grabbed it.
I
How long
grabbed
did
it.
you stay with the agency?
A year, and they folded.
Okay.
So whilst I was there, like so much happened that year that kind of like made me grow corporate wise. So I got in as a graphic designer. I was designing, and then I used to do copy. You know, when you do graphics, you have to create the copy. Yeah. We had one lady from Latin America who was doing copy, but she's Spanish, so she'd do should convert it. And when she converts it, it doesn't feel as compelling as it should be, and always the client will be complaining like, this doesn't even make sense. This. So when she does the copy, I'll pick it and then I'll craft it in a very catchy way, and the client loves it immediately, and they realize that like the kind of copy I was creating was basically dope. So she said she wants to teach me copywriting, like actual copyright, like the basics to understand how to do copy. Yeah. Like, you know, it has some sort of structure. So I just had like raw creative writing talent, and then now she was teaching me how to
actual copywriting,
title copy, body copy, call to action, those things. Creating, you know, copy, you have to create the first copy. Is the title copy needs to have stopping power. Yeah, it should be something that people would immediately pause and be like, what are you talking about? Before now you rope them into there, but people don't have time when they are like seeing billboards. So she taught me all that, and then I started creating copy, started practicing. Then I started writing scripts, radio ads, TV ads. So all Tigo Sunday, those Sundays used to do Tigo Sunday. I used to write all the radio ads. I write 4 ads every week before the Friday for them to record and play it on the Sunday. So now you can see I moved from graphic designer. Then I started doing copywriting. Then now the other designer was way faster than me because I design at my pace. So they say, you know what, channel all your. So when I was doing graphic design and copy, it was at the same time. Then the client realized that I'm good with the client. When the client comes and I talk to the client, no, the issue is solved, or I'm able to pitch things quickly to the client. The client's like, oh, I like that, but they will be trying, and the client is like, you know, he doesn't get it. So they say, you know what, Bernard, can you start coming with us to Tigo when we're going to meet the client? Why don't you do a little client service? Talk to the client, pitch our ideas, stuff like that. So I started doing that, and then now they say, you know what, let's take care of design. So
from where you were initially,
they completely took me off design, but I was still doing copywriting and client service. So then, by dealing with the client, I started understanding or getting intrigued by what's happening on the client side, the way they handle their meetings, the structure, the process, and I also realized that there was a gap, and I felt like these people need some creative juices in the company, because it's like we pitch from a creative perspective. It is nice for us, like we think it is beautiful, we think it will get people's tongues wagging, and they too just want to meet business KPIs. They're like, listen, so you see some very beautiful idea, they'll water it down now. By the time it goes out, it just sounds like a notice, like some regular information. So I moved from graphic designer, copywriter to client service, and then now I started getting so curious about client space that I started looking for my next my next job in the client side. So I was even applying to the client, Tigo. But I have to be careful just so that they don't.
It doesn't look like you are.
They don't let me go. Then someone forwarded a job role to me from Vodafone that were looking for social media, like digital and brand. I hadn't really understood the concept of brand yet, but digital I kind of did. There was a time where brands didn't know what to do with digital. Like, okay, social media, everybody's on social media, open a Facebook account, then everything they posted there. Like, that's just how it was. There was no strategy.
There was no strategy, yes.
It was just vibes. But at that very time, I was working in the agency and we're helping Tigo figure out their social media. Okay. Because their group like the Tigo out there was doing social media so well that they were adapting it for Ghana. Yeah. So they sent me the job. I saw social media. I'm like, okay, this is something that I've already started working on. And the Tigo too had a client. Like the client had a social media manager there who I used to work with closely. I won't say she was clueless, but she was also trying to figure it out. And interestingly, we were just there one day and they came to tell us that after I'd applied for the Vodafone job, they came to tell us that they've lost the Tigo account after 1 year because they changed the marketing officer and he too says, listen, I want to use a local agency. So you guys have to pack up and go. So these guys were leaving. I was going to be jobless. I was so distraught. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like,
but another opportunity had presented it, so you were just
I was just waiting.
Okay.
But the moment they announced it, the next day, I got a call that, hey, receive your CV. We want to process you for an interview. Like, are you? This is the day that.
Do you think they were watching the other side to see if they would?
You had no idea. I mean, it's competitors, so they couldn't be bothered. But it was just. I just think it was timely and fate and God. It's really God in that situation, because that's just how my life has been. Like, there's always something that's
something waiting for you.
So what happened? I went for the interview. I got there. Guess what I see in the foyer waiting at Vodafone? The client from Tigo, the social media manager. She was also coming for the interview. Yeah. So when I saw her, I'm like, this job there.
And that's her job. That's her field.
That's her field.
And you were very new.
She's working the client side, but I'm coming from the agency side. So, I mean, now it was like, do or die. I'm like, I want this job so bad. Like, I could not believe, because Vodafone then was like big accounts. I think they only had Facebook and Twitter, and even though we're not really using it, like almost like about 4 people on the floor had their account, and they just post.
They
do an ad.
No strategy whatsoever.
Even recently, I was posting how advertising and marketing used to be very simple. All you do is conceptualize a big idea, and then you shoot a very nice TV ad. And when you shoot a TV ad, you even take stills from the TV from the billboard. So sometimes you see a billboard, and if you've not watched the TV ad, you don't get it. That's how they used to do it then. Like, because then they assume that everyone is watching the TV.
That's true.
So when you see the billboard, you can connect it. Now you can't try that because not everybody is watching TV. You know, it's only today that I even came in and I was asking her that the political radio ads have started.
Yes.
I don't listen to radio that often. You understand? Yeah. So then they just do good TV ad. Then they adapt it for press, newspapers, billboards. And then what else? Just press billboards, and then they do maybe some activations in town.
At the marketplaces and all.
The campaign is over. You've collected your money, you go. But now it's a bit. How do we even get here?
Yes, it's with the job with Vodafone.
Yes,
so stuff now, you had to do. You started work first week.
Yeah. So then now I was in a space where people had to you have to use social media in different ways. So then they used to just do, let's say, a campaign. Mega promo, and then they take the ad and then post it on socials, and they just keep posting. So you can go to a page and see like 5 mega promo ads.
The same thing,
same artwork. They just posted it. So now I had to figure out a strategy, and then when I came, they had an agency. Kenya was ahead of the curve, so they had an agency all the way in Kenya called Squad Digital, and I didn't understand, why do you have an agency in Kenya handling Ghana socials? I looked at the budget; it was crazy. I don't want to put amounts here, but it was a lot of money. And I'm like, no, this thing is not, it doesn't, the math is not mathing. And then I started reading a lot, and I started trying to understand social. I got some books. I tried to check other global companies doing social and how they're doing it. And I started building a strategy, post strategy, content calendar. Like, those are the first times that a lot of people were hearing those words, like content calendar, post. There's like all that. And I did all that, and I started running the pages and grew. I remember I grew the Facebook page to 100,000. When I joined, it was probably like 7,000 or something. I grew Vodafone's Facebook to 100,000. Even won me an award. And just like that, I just did that for all the other platforms. And also, Vodafone had come into the market at a time where they were tapping into music as a passion of the Ghanaian. So they had VGMA. They had Vodafone Live, which was like, you had Vodafone icons too. They have O2O Live. They used to sponsor Foresight. So a lot of music stuff, and I was at the heart of it, making sure that we were online and also working with the agencies closely. So I was working with Chatterhouse closely, working with Publicis, Canard, all the agencies, and that really puts me into a space of understanding marketing, but the brand side of marketing.
Yeah.
So, you know, marketing has different sides. They have the very commercial side, which is all like numbers, trying to understand customer usage and spend. And then they have the brand side, which is very like convincing to people, just get to creating a perception and love.
Image for the brand.
Yeah, an image, yeah. And I fell in love automatically with brand because I'm like, okay, I could see the clear difference. The floor was divided into two.
Yeah.
One side had the brand people, and the other side had
the numbers people. You know?
Numbers, commercial people, always just deep diving into numbers and crunching numbers.
Lovely.
And I was in the brand side with the PR guys, with the events guys. That's how I know Mariam Kalim, Eric Ogo, Uche Ofobile,
all the killers.
like you know, Carmen Bruce Anna,
Yeah.
like Gift Bingley. I mean, a bunch of.
And you were quite young around that time.
I was the youngest. I was the youngest on the floor. And I mean, I understood social media. They didn't.
Yeah.
So they all used to look up to me like, who is this guy? How does he know so much about this? This is such a new media. Like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
And Uche loved it so much. Like, every time they do like, we do presentations about what we're about to do for a campaign. When it's my turn, like everybody's attentive.
No, because they're about to hear something new.
Yeah, because I'm saying things like retweets.
Yes,
I'm saying things like,
what is that?
Like they're all looking at me like, what is a retweet? You know, like what is? I was just
very interesting space because I mean, around those years were when people were really understanding the digital, I mean, social media world.
Yeah.
Brands were starting to understand the importance of, you know, having a social media image, you know. I think, and it's bringing back a lot of good memories.
Yeah.
Because then, I mean, I would speak on your side as well. When you go to pitch things to brands and anything social media comes in, a bunch of the people on the board will be asking, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah,
you know, so
it still happens.
Yes, it still happens. They tell you, "Okay, prove to us." So I think the ultimate thing is, okay, show us.
Yeah.
And so you had to put in a lot. You kept mentioning hunger as one of the things that drove you to do extra. In our world, in our society here.
I feel like I'll lose my. There was something I wanted to say when you said how show us like social media things.
Yes, like you have to prove it.
So hold on to yours too. There was a point that I was able to that they really saw the value of social media. These guys, Vodafone then had fixed broadband. That's the one in the house, right?
The one through the telephone?
The landline.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was one of their products. It's a very problematic product because people were stealing the copper and things, and every time any angry customer is angry because of fixed broadband.
Yeah.
Oh, my internet is off, And then one day they changed the bundles because I think it was unlimited.
Yeah, it used to be
Those
unlimited.
times
You just
it was
pay at the end of the month. Yeah.
And then they changed it and bundled a package, give everybody packages, and then capped the internet. When they did it, they sent out a message to people, and like how they'll just send a blast to the base.
Yeah, the traditional one, yeah.
Then I woke up in the morning because I was handling the social media, and then I saw our mentions flooded, like
everybody.
You people, they crazy, like people insulting Vodafone. Like it was, I could not post even my usual calendar because when I posted, they're like rubbish. Like angry people, and I saw people threatening, we are coming to Vodafone today, we are coming to protest, So that morning, the moment I got in, I just called like the PR people, everything. I said, this is what's happening online.
And this is where the response is coming from.
Yeah, look at, what did you guys do yesterday? You sent the blast, look at what people are saying. And through that, because now I was seeing it in real time, and they were not used to that. They'll send an SMS.
It goes, there's no response.
The moment,
right?
there's no response. Like they're talking to customers. But maybe the only thing is when someone comes to a retail shop and comes
probably
to do
calls the hotline,
some shaky, comes to break things or something, or come to the front desk. And then now I'm seeing things in real time.
Yes.
So now by putting that out, sending emails, copying all the marketing heads and stuff, they really valued that thing. Like they were so blown away at and now they came and said, okay, can you give us a day-to-day update of what's happening online? Sentiment. So that's when I created the sentiment reports. Like it's something that I'd read about. I'm like, okay, this is where a sentiment report comes in. So I started daily. I'll send a sentiment report of positives. People are saying positively, what people are saying negative.
Things they can build on.
See the, how they call it, percentage of angry customers against customers who are happy, and then I'll send it at the end of the day, like 6 o'clock, boom, everybody gets it. And then gradually, as they started mitigating and solving things, communicating to people, letting basically cooling tempers down, the sentiment report now started showing positives. They were so blown up. I think I got
in
to
the
this
course of that,
Hero
proving
Award
to them the essence of social media, of the brand focusing on social media. You had also dived into consumer relations, because you were now getting the taste from the consumers, responses from them, and it was real time. And it was the fastest.
It was the fastest. They'd never seen anything like that. And this was a social media guy who some people just pass by and like, the guy they do Facebook. So
the
now
Facebook
they're calling me into, at these meetings, the heads. ESCO, right? Like the heads of the and they'll come into those meetings to come present my sentiment reports of the week and show them what the trends are, and they've not seen anything like that before, because they used to pay market research companies,
and that's at the end of the year or quarterly, to even gather the response
when they're paying. They used to get those things like quarterly,
Those ones are even just
yearly. They charge them crazy.
I don't like to
money.
say it, but it's mostly generics,
I think you guys, radio stations do it a lot.
We used to do it. I think it's Ipsos now.
That's Ipsos.
It used to be Geopol around that time.
There are some agencies who just charge them so much and come and give them some. I call it a low report.
And this was real time. This was you showing proof. The customers are not happy. Exactly.
Someone will take a picture of something and post it. People in the Facebook DMs. People are like,
real time responses.
It was shocking. Anyway, now you can go back to your hangar.
So I was asking about, the background. The kind of family you grew up in. How were things like? Were you? I always tell my friends I'm really against the whole notion that great men always have to have a sovereign background. You need to have a machimeku background. You keep mentioning hungry, but what were you hungry for? Is it to succeed? Were you the type that had to survive on a little? What kind of family setting did you grow up in? Were you privileged? Did you at any point have to go and sell canto?
I've had different ebbs and flows in my childhood growing up. I won't say I was like angry and I had no clothes on my back, but we were decent. We went to Outside Academy. There was a time that like things were really rosy, and my dad had some challenges at work. He lost his job. Like things just went downhill, and then things started becoming really tough for us. So there was a period that like things were good, and there was a period that things became tough. And my dad made a lot of like mistakes like growing up. Whilst raising us and in his career and stuff. And I look at them sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to repeat these things. So I think that's where the hunger came from. I'm like, when I always remember how, like, you're eating cake one moment and then you're eating achomo So I'm like, no, I don't want to chop this achomo again. I want to chop the cake. So I'm like, I'll do anything to get there. And also, my brother has been a very defining.
Who's your brother?
So I have an older brother, 3 years older than me. A lot of people don't know that. He's a VP in Bank of America. So he lives in America. He comes around once in a while. Like last year, he was in town. And when people see him, there's a little resemblance. They're like, the guy he worked with.
They look like you were.
Yeah, but he was the closest person that I could aspire to because he was in my house. Like my brother, 3 years older than me. I listen to him a lot. Like up to now, like if I get a job offer, I send him the to look through and ask his advice. If he says go ahead, I do it. If he says no, it's not, I won't do it. Like up to now, even at my big age.
Is it?
Because he's more. I'm very impulsive. Like it's now that like I'm growing up and emotional intelligence is making, like I'm learning to be calmer. But when I was younger, I wasn't this calm. My brother was the one who has been calm since and very like calculated. Like he's very, very calculated. So I used to look up to him. My choice to go to Presec was him. Because he went to Presec. I couldn't think of any other place. Okay, all I hear about is Presec. When he comes home, I went there. I went to Tech because of him. Because he went there too. I went there. I decided to pursue the corporate angle because of him. Because when he came out of school, he went to GT Bank, then he did Stan Chart before he left to America. So I used to just know that path. Like, okay, you go, you rise up in your career, you make money, you make an impact. So
get a nice family.
Yeah, you know that thing. So in as much as I'm a creative that has only knew the path of that structure. So I learned it, and I think it's been my superpower. Because while being in corporate, I was the only person who could think up creative things on their feet.
Right there.
Yeah, I think the clients are normally, they just make sure things happen. They have the structure and they work with the agency to bring the ideas. I came from agency, and then I'm in the building and I am executing. I don't know if you get what I mean.
I perfectly get it. You don't need to go and come. You don't need to go and consult. Right then.
I can guide the agency. I'm like, I want this done by 5 p.m. Send it to me. I want to put this out. Like, there was a time that, I'll give an example. There was a time that they were complaining that a lot of people were not using data during football matches because it was like AFCON. While the matches are going on, everybody puts their phone away and they are watching the match. So the business loses a lot of revenue within those hours, and it impacts the monthly whatever. So they're like, how can we tap into it? So I just, on the go, like after that meeting, and Uche came to complain and tell us, I said, okay, let's think up time. So I told the agency, I even mailed them, I told exactly what I wanted. And the agency too, because they are creative, they don't want you to tell them what to do.
Those have their mind on their own.
They want to take profit, or what do you call it, credits for giving the idea and then executing it and then taking their money.
I mean, if it comes from you, the value of theirs goes down.
Yeah, so it's like you don't want to be an agency that the client is telling you every time exactly what to do, because they're not used to the client giving them executable. The client will just brief you, oh, we want to help whatever go up, revenue go up, and then So, but I just mail them.
Do it this way.
I want to do a last commentator activation, and I told them the mechanics. Like, okay, we'll do a creative. We'll put up. We'll say we want to give an iPhone out. Whoever can give the most commentary under the post we just posted, will get the iPhone at the end of the match. They said no, it won't work.
Because it's
I tried to get them on a call, they won't do it. The match was in like a few hours. Yeah. I just opened my Photoshop.
And you did it yourself?
Yeah, I was a designer by whatever. I opened a Photoshop, did a creative. I still remember the visual in my head. I did Vodafone had a brand manual, so I did the Tetris. It's called the Tetris. Yeah. I put a copy in it. I put my image, did a caption, sent an email to the team that
it's done.
That's the devices, gives the devices, and I said I need an iPhone for this. Approve of my boss, they approved it. All right, let's go. Posted it.
Agency
that thing was so it was so, the engagement was crazy to a point that the agency used it they used it to go and enter an award, the Loris Award, to go and collect award. The one I did.
The one they said no to.
The one they said no, they used it to go collect an award, and it's on their website. I'm sure if you go there now, it's Squad Digital, you see it was on their website. Wow. But that was the beauty of how do we even get here?
The beauty of brands and you being hungry.
Yes, so exactly. That's how I was able to execute something like that on the go. Yeah, so my brother's corporate. So that was my superpower, like being a creative in a corporate space. Because I think up things, and they was always so amazed, like, how are you doing this? Like, but I'm just a creative, and then now you've taught me structure. So now I'm combining
following through.
If I enter corporate, I can be very corporate. If I enter agency,
you can actually get down, open and then the Photoshop and get the work done.
Exactly.
Lovely.
So my brother was a very defining path in me finding my trail or whatever.
He took the finance, route, and you did your creative on the side.
Yeah, I'm so bad with math. Like, you have no idea. Like,
listen,
I failed my math.
Every creative.
Yeah.
I won't say it again.
See, I will tell you a story, right? When I was in Presec, my math, I actually failed it. Like, when I wrote SSC, I got an F. See, my mom just knew that math is not my thing. And it's those things that when I have not diagnosed, but I think I have ADHD. Like,
man, I'm not really saying nothing, but I think it's a thing with a lot of creatives.
When I enter a math class, I just switch off, like, because I'm not interested. And people like that, when you're not interested in something, you just switch off.
I know how much you'd suffer with what's the name? Further maths, E-maths.
No.
That's really crazy.
I didn't even pursue.
Tried, yeah.
So I failed. I got like an actual F, and I tried NOVDEC before. So basically, I wrote SSC 3 times. I tried NOVDEC before. I got an F, and my mom was like, "Listen, you do so well in all the other subjects. This is just. I'll tell you to just prep for actual SSC. So please." Now that you know that this is where you are not doing well, do it. Oh, I went to get another F. Then now I was so upset because then now I had A's, B's, and I passed the aggregate. My mom says,
"Still,
you are not applying. I'm not going to make you apply because they need the math. You know, like it's so important to have the math, and which I think is a flaw in the educational system because not everybody is wired like that. So now I told myself that I'm not going. The school me, I won't go again." I told my mom that I went to find a factory job at Spintex. I said I'm going to work, and that time
serious about it.
I was serious. They offered me something. I was happy that that time I can maybe found a CD equivalent or something. It looked like a lot of money. I think 100 CD. I don't know, but then I was 2006 or something. 2006. I was like, I'm going to work. I'm not going to school again. And then I went for an interview. I got a job. I was supposed to start the next week. And my brother called me because my mom had said everything to my dad, everybody. And my brother called me to his room and he says, and I think he knows what I like. I like to have fun. I like cool things. So he called me and he's opened like a folder on his computer then. Showing me pictures I'd never seen before. Pictures of them like partying, chilling. Pictures that I think he was hiding from his girlfriend. Like just enjoying life in tech. And he said, "Charlie, take the job. Like if I do everything, then just come join me. Like come Mokujam." Then he says he will take me to Report. Report was like the next term. He'll take me to Report so that I experience tech properly.
Before you come to school.
Before I come. But what he wants me to do is that like I should just go and do the math. Like I should just do it. So I walked out of my brother's room that day feeling like I want to do it. So I went to tell my mom that she should register me again. I'll do the NOVDEC. She just register me for math. And then she says she was shocked. Like she was just looking at me like, what happened? What changed? I said, I'll do it. She was really shocked. So then she was a teacher too, so she was able to just get me a private teacher. I went to she was a teacher at Nungwa Secondary School. I went there.
Classes a couple of times.
Classes. I was going like 3 times a week. Now come and sit behind my desk in my room. Practice. Like I studied the thing like, and people like us, when we now start putting our mind on something,
you are able to do it.
I grasped it. I didn't even get like a B or I got a C, but at least I came out of the F.
Yeah, at least you got out of the F zone.
And that's how I got into tech.
Is it fair to say your mom's approach was a bit too regular? Was it because your brother showed you that picture?
Yes.
Was it because he showed you images and you understood what was ahead?
Yeah, my brother convinced me in a relatable way. And I think that's how even people should approach things with parenting, even marketing. Show people the benefits. Show people the benefits.
Don't just do the words.
Yeah, because my mom, all I hear from my mom is like, you have to do it. You have to. If you don't do it, you can't go to school. You have to be someone in future. Like it's just too much pressure. But my brother was like, listen, see the way with the party.
Convinced you easily with pictures.
You want jam, you see the babes. You know those things. You gotta be excited. Like, just got me excited. And I'm like, listen. So all the while I'm studying my math, I'm thinking
you have
about
that image at it. No, so
I'm thinking about jams.
There was a goal.
Yeah, I was thinking about jams. Like, hey, I wasn't even thinking about school, thinking about jams. I want to enter the go jam. You get what I mean? And I think it was so worth it because then that's how I now wrote it, passed, added it to the previous thing, and then I got into tech. So that, if I think about it, that's that decision. If I didn't do that decision, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. If my brother hadn't had that conversation with me. So yeah.
Is he aware? Have you ever had this conversation with him? Is he aware?
I've done an interview.
He held that U10.
I've done an interview where he heard me say it and he was like kind of really touched. But he didn't tell me. He told like a friend of mine that my business partner that was quite touching for him.
Were you at any point in time? So at what point in your career journey did your brother leave Ghana?
I think I had started tech.
Okay.
Because he left. I delayed 1 year, so I would have met him if I went. But I delayed 1 year and then he left. So when he left tech. When I got into tech, I think I was in my second year.
When you left.
But then he had done GT Bank. Then he did 1 year of 1 year GT, 1 year of Stanchart, and he left. So I think I was in my second year of tech, and then he left. Yeah.
Around that time, I know how cool it was to, as a young man, leave Ghana. Did it ever cross your mind to
leave?
Also, follow his steps and leave and go get the greener pasture?
I mean, I think I was thinking about it for other reasons. Like, that time my mind was always just chilling. Like, I just want to party, just have fun.
You don't come off as someone who really loves to party.
Oh, it's gone down. Like, I mean, Friday friends, we used to go. But then I was a party animal. When I say party animal, that kind of person that I show up in the club and even be holding a strip pole and I used to party. Like,
No, he's not even joking.
No, I'm not joking. I have pictures. Like,
you Gen Zs. Oh, sorry, I'm not Gen Z. She's also an oldie.
Do you know how it's a struggle to get me out to party now? Like, I used to be a wild party person.
I know.
Yeah, so, and those times, like, I don't really drink much, but you see me out and I'm just high on it and excitement.
Yeah,
like,
just excited
to
be out there.
So Echo House was like that Echo magazine period was the first time I actually started channeling that into work. And then now when I came out of school too, because my brother lit the fire in me and then left, and then I just continued from there. Like, and I still think I have a very corporate mind. Like, people think I'm very entrepreneurial, but entrepreneurial part is from me having ideas. I have an idea, always have an idea for a company, and that's why I don't do it alone. I always have a partner, because that partner is always the one that is the commercial one. I have the idea, we set it up. So if you come to Jambo, right, and you're asking me, what's the price of podcast?
You will not know.
I don't know. Like,
you just have the
ideas. I have the idea. We're running it. I know how much I'm making from it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not like I'm completely away from it. I know the numbers. Like,
yeah, but you isolate that for people.
Yeah, but I don't kill myself on the numbers. I get an idea. We start running it, and then they execute.
What made you leave Vodafone? Because it was a very huge part of your career journey. I mean, from where I sat.
Yeah.
What happened? At what point did you say, you know what, I'm moving on? So where did you move on to?
When I was in Vodafone, I spent 3 years there, and each year I did something new.
Which year was Vodafone X?
2014-15. So I went into Vodafone in 2012. Brand digital specialist. I did that for 1 year. After that 1 year, now I was I am. Like, I'm curious about the next thing. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I know the brand part of marketing now. It's not like I want to be in the commercial part, but I need to understand it. So I always have a conversation with Uche, and she said, why not? We have a role, customer loyalty. I think it's something that you can fit in easily. I can't just throw you into analyst. You don't have the skills, but see how you've transformed a new space, and there's like, you do all these things to make the customer happy and stuff. I think customer loyalty, because customer loyalty was a mix of rewarding customers, making sure that they stay longer on the network. So I would look at the base, and that was my only time that I would do some number crunching. I'll look at the base, see who is spending most. So I'll just do like those Excel. I learned how to use Excel whilst as customer loyalty manager. Know how to use pivot tables, all that, and I will be able to separate the base as in from who is spending most, who is spending less, and then I'll put them in a bracket, and then I would probably send a blast of airtime to someone who is falling off. So let's say someone is
motivate them, right?
Yeah, so someone is spending and I see the spend is dropping, and 3 months they probably reloaded then I send them like a airtime, and then it's now sparks, and I do it a few times, and then now it just gets them back into using it, and then now they become or I would come to Silverbed, and then I would arrange. We started this thing called, was it Moviethon? Yeah,
was it Moviethon? It was I've forgotten the name.
No, it was Moviethon. Before the Echo House came to do their thing, that was for Vodafone X. So Moviethon was for loyalty. That was me, where we give a card, and then we gave it to high spending we call them HVC, high value customers, who would be able to come and retrieve a ticket or buy one get one free or something like that. And that also just makes them excited about being
on the network. And spending.
So I did that too for a year, and then before that ended, they had struggled to catch the youth base, because corporate people, you just do a photo shoot with young people, and then say we've done a package for them, and then we say this is a youth package. But the young people can see through it.
Yeah, they can't really relate. They know it's one of those things.
Yeah, they look at it like, this is not for me. Like, who said we need this? Who said we need that? And then they can't be bothered. It looks too fake. So they wanted to crack that. And that is when Vodafone X came about. So that was, they came to my coach called me, like, once again, like, we think you're the youngest on the floor. You get it. You're very youthful, entertainment-wise. You know what's up. We want you to create a platform that's like a product that will create a product that would be for young people. It was a very interesting time in my career.
Super interesting, Meister, I tell you.
You know what we did? We got students on campus. So also at that time I had transitioned the agency from Squad to Echo House. So I told Echo House that they said, I told them I want to change the agency, I want to bring it local. And then I gave out the bid out to 4 agencies or something. And I gave Echo House an opportunity too. And I said, listen, you guys know it. All these agencies too know their stuff, but you guys are younger. Like, go all out. Core. And they came to pitch, and they loved their pitch. And Uche says, you know what, if Bernard thinks these guys are good, let's go with them. So Echo House then was working with us, and we worked with them on X2. So we got students from campus. Some of those students, there was Mirror was part.
I remember very well. There's Mirror. I think Sheldon was part.
There was Sheldon.
Who else? Was Varosky. No, Varosky had finished. Varosky was older.
Rhoda, who does Hype Nets.
Yes, Rhoda, Hype Nets that time.
A bunch, like a good bunch who are doing amazing things right now. So those guys were called the Red Lab. We picked them up from Legon campus.
Good memories, you know.
And we bring them into the office. We put them in a room called a war room. And we just buy them drinks, pizza, and we give them tasks, like very fun tasks. We say, you know what, you guys should create your own dream telecom company. Like the way you want it. These guys will come and say, hey, we don't want to buy data, we just want free data. And you realize that was a trend. And
then you guys were taking notes.
Yeah, we were taking notes. They didn't realize we're just taking our notes, and we just say, do your thing. And the trend was that they all just wanted to use data without worries. They wanted to go to parties and jam. They didn't want the internet to finish.
No, we just wanted an answer.
They didn't care about, no one was saying, I want to call my friends. We're not hearing that. Call your friends for what? So then we realized that, listen, this package needs to be heavily data driven to the point that they don't even feel like they are buying data. So, and they also would like exclusivity because they like to feel like they're in some squad, like we are picked out. Like even the Red Lab guys were feeling cool. They come and pick them every time. So when we created Vodafone X, simply first the name Vodafone X because we had no name.
I remember.
We had no name for it. So like X meant like nothing. We're working with a guy called Obi now to his agency Bloom Interactive. So we created this package and we had a separate SIM for it. So that it makes them feel like exclusive. And even the SIM wasn't launched immediately. We launched the movement before we launched the SIM. So we just launched a movement. Say Vodafone said we have a movement called Vodafone X. We did a wild party. We took Sarkodie to 3 campuses. Like, and all that while it was just like it was just a movement. And then we introduced the SIMs when we started the concerts. So now to get into the concert, you need to buy the SIM.
Did you guys do one at the Polo Court at some point?
That was the party.
Yes.
That was the launch party. So that was wild. That was the one that people were like, what is this thing?
It was wild.
They just came to party and then enjoyed themselves and left. And they were put in they took their data and then we used to just communicate to them. So people wanted to be part of Vodafone X because they just thought it was a movement that that's for cool kids. That's it. They didn't understand and then now we say, okay, we have a SIM for you. So they start feeling like, oh, you're making a SIM just for us? And then we say, yes, the SIM allows you to have unlimited internet.
Data,
unlimited data. So what we had done was that we had bundled some social packages, some social channels into unlimited ports. So Snapchat. And then any other thing like YouTube and stuff, those ones you would pay. I think even WhatsApp you pay. And then you could do free calls to other X people. So it was very suitable for them. And everybody wanted to be on X, every student. it became a thing. Like when we were doing parties, they show up, like they buy the Sims, and that's how Vodafone X became. So that was my 3rd year. Then now, so after we launched it, then I got a role as a go-to-market manager for Vodafone X. I did that for a year, and a lady called Sandra Brokwa.
Is that who's Sandra Brokwa?
She's in Google now. I don't know.
Okay, not that Sandra Brokwa. There's another Sandra Brokwa. Yeah.
So a lady called Sandra Brokwa left to Tonaton. She was she was working in sales, but she used to see me come and present when we do our marketing sales meetings, and she just liked the way like I always have something new. And she went and they told her that she needs to hire a marketing person.
She needs to do it.
Yeah, because she was a country manager at Tonaton. She needs someone who's compelling and has ideas. And I was just there. She just mailed me and she said she's looking for a marketing manager and she thinks
you make a perfect fit.
Because the kind of person they're looking for, she thinks I'll be the one. Now look at me, I've been used to, and in as much as I like exploring new things, when I get comfortable, I don't want change. Like I'll explore maybe in the space, but I don't want change. So now I was trying to contemplate, how can I leave Vodafone? Like 3 years here, it's shaped me so much, taught me structure, taught me how to work with people, and I'm coming to leave. Then she made an offer. The offer was twice my salary. I said,
here we go.
But I still didn't take it. I said,
you still didn't take the double offer?
Initially, I said, nah, I'll stay. Then I had a conversation with my boss, trying to see my prospects for the new year. And after that conversation, when I came out, I realized that I'll be stagnant for another year. Like, nothing, my salary isn't going up, nothing new was happening. I'm just going to keep doing
there was no space for any new exciting opportunities.
I didn't like the other roles that they were giving me if I wanted to move around. So I said, you know what, this job is a manager role. I get to now manage people
and get them to do the work.
At that time, I was just managing a call center for just social media. So I went back, and just to hedge my bets, I'm like, she should add more. She made the salary 3 times my salary, and then I took it.
That was just a risk you were taking. You were just trying to.
I was just trying. Like, I had nothing to lose. I'm like, I could stay here and just wing it for another year. No, that one didn't come from my brother. That one was just me. Just initially,
make it.
I was just trying because I'm like, I'm not sure whether I should go or not go. So I might just. The only reason that will make me go. Okay, I'd consulted him at some point, but he says that if it will be worth it,
go.
No, to ask for more money. And so what are the reasons you want to go? And I said, if anything will make me leave, then it's career progression, that growth, and then money. And I asked for 3 times, and then she sent it. She said, all right, let's go. And then I left.
There's no back and forth, nothing.
Yeah, but I also was so excited about growing, like having a team. I got there, I had a team of, I think 4 or 5.
This was not telco. This was now numbers
Tech.
In a way.
Tech, e-commerce.
Yeah,
e-commerce, strongly e-commerce. But yeah, tech. But I was going to do the marketing part of it, and it was very exciting. She was a very enabling boss. Like left, and it's something that I negotiate in interviews. I asked for creative license so that I can execute to my whatever. Give me creative license. Give me a budget. Let me do magic. So she allowed me. She just said, "Listen, do your thing." I restructured the team. I gave everybody new roles. I did a lot, like launched different things that she didn't even think she would launch in a year. I'm like, let's do it. I remember there was a time they brought some guy from Dubai to a meeting, and when he came to a meeting, he introduced me as a marketing guy. All through the meeting, he was just wondering, because I'm normally just chilled and calm, especially when I meet new people. Then he called my boss to the side and said, are you sure this guy is the guy for your marketer? He's just too chill and too calm. I don't think he can do the job. She said, I don't think you know who you're talking about. Like, don't worry, just watch him work. Just watch him. And I had a presentation later with him, showed him the ideas. The guy was like, okay. And then they later saw, I mirrored something like we did at Vodafone, where we did Fresh Affair. I worked with Echo House, and then we took SAC, and then we had people go online to purchase things on Tonaton, something like that.
I remember. I think it was I think it was you had discounts. I think it was a
and
flash
the
discount,
numbers
something, yeah.
were through the roof. They saw
site
the
crash at some point.
probably I don't
something like
remember.
that happened. I remember.
But the numbers were through the roof. Like they saw how like number of people how it was the Tonaton app.
Yes.
The number of people who had downloaded the Tonaton app in that short period, and also how they had started using and buying things. Oh my God. That one today gave me a reward,
Yeah.
Saltside Technologies reward. They were shocked. And that guy was now sent me an email to congratulate me that
my guy.
yeah, like yo, you do
I didn't really see the fire, but now I'm seeing the fire.
he over you know be noise, you just they do on work. Yeah.
Meister, I want to find out from you, okay? You made a very risky decision to ask for more. What had been offered to you was twice what you were receiving. Regular man thinking, it's fine. But you decided to ask for more. It was an informed decision, but I want to understand, okay? For the sake of people listening, at what point do you ask for more? What should you consider? Because it could have gone south. It could have ended there. Whoever was employing could have said, you know what, that's how much I'm willing to spend. Maybe I have another option who might take less than that. What should you be equipped with before you ask for certain things when it comes to moving to new jobs or getting certain opportunities? Is it the portfolio you hold? Is it just mere confidence, or is it just risk you take?
I think one is the value you have. Like look at experience and say, okay, this is like what I'm bringing on board. And then, but also once again, people are hiring you for a reason. They're hiring you for you to come and change something, or they're not hiring you because we just want to fill a role. No, fine, they want to get things done. But normally, when they're hiring you, especially for a very specific role, they want you to come and take the company from A to B or from 10 to 20. So if you are very sure that you can take the company from 10 to 20, you should be able to stand on your ground when it comes to what you want. You know what I mean? And if the company can afford it, why not? But if you're just asking for money because, and a lot of people do that. I mean, I interview people all the time, and they come and sit there and they say, I want 10K, I want 20K, I want 50K. Why do you want the 10K? And you just realize that, okay, I'll say, okay, that's ambitious. Okay, what will you be doing in the first 6 months when you arrive? And you realize that they have nothing in, like they don't have anything that they've not thought about it. They're only asking because probably they've heard that one of their friends got a job and got 10K. So they feel like, okay, me too. If I go my next job, if it not be 10K, nothing. But what are you really giving to the company?
What value?
It's not charity. It's not your friend. Like it's a job. So always go into those job interviews with what you want to do. I think you should even surprise the interviewer that, all right, when I join, I have noticed this, that you guys don't do da. I will launch this. I have noticed that you probably make revenue this. If you include this line, it's going to do this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to achieve all this. So in the first 2 months, I'll do this. Be very specific. So when you finish, you're like, this guy is ready. Like he can start tomorrow. Like he knows what he's about to do. He's not just coming to sit around and now take instructions. And I think when you do that and you say, okay, I want 30K, they will now understand where you're coming from. They'll look at your experience. They'll look at what you said in the interview, what you're about to offer, and they'll pay for it.
It works, guys. Listening from the experts, the guy. A very busy man once again. You have a beautiful family. How do you balance work life and family life? Do you sometimes neglect rules on other sides? Other times you have to miss work because you have to be a family man this week. Other times you have to, neglect family duties too. How do you do it basically? How do you make it work?
I learned over time, and like I said, it's just being very intentional.
Yeah.
Like now, I used to be that guy that on Saturdays, that's even the time that I want to go in Rome. But now, Saturdays and Sundays, it's so hard to get me out of my house. Just because I see the kids only in the morning when they're going for school, and I come back late. I don't see them in the night. I just come when they're asleep. So I'm very intentional about my Saturdays, my Sundays now. Like Saturday, apart from my morning cycling, when I come back, I just stay with them. It's really, really hard to get me out of my house unless it's super, 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 super important. I just want to stay with them. So I'm just very intentional. Like I said, if you die today, life will go on. So I don't, unless it's something that is really, really, really important. And I have a team now too. So I actually just got a PA this year. I'd always struggled to work with a PA because what happens is that when I hire a PA, I end up leaving her in the dark or him. Yeah, I just do work. Like, because the kind of work I do is that, like, when I'm driving, an idea comes. Oh, then get home, I start putting together a plan. And I forget to update the PA, and then the PA is lost and has no idea what I'm doing. But this new PA has been very, like, persistent in checking on me. Like, you know, interesting thing.
Sure
before this interview, she saw that it's my calendar. She said, okay, let's go through the questions. I'm like,
cool down,
please, I'm busy. And she was insistent. Like, my colleagues had her asking me questions, and first they said, what personal conversation are you having with your PA? Talking about my childhood and stuff. And she said she was prepping me for the interview. And I think that's just beautiful. Like, I have just started deliberately putting structure in place so that I have time to do things, because people used to just think that this guy is stuck up. Like, you hit me up about a project and I'd forget, and the next time you hit me up, I don't even remember your name, or I don't remember where the conversation started from, and I forget meetings, and people just think, this guy, you plan to meet him somewhere, he won't come. But it's just because I was so swamped and I didn't know how to juggle it. But I'm quite intentional now. My new task is doing homework for the kids.
I'm unable to do that.
I show up and then
I wasn't
able to do it, but I started being very intentional. Right. So I told my house help that, you know what, put the kids' book on the table, so that the moment I walk into the house and I put on the lights, is there.
I think I'll take a cue from that. Still on family, you are brand consultant at Juventus Academy.
Not anymore. It was a 6 months project. Stint, yeah.
Okay. Where did the interest come from? Because I know it's something you had to be interested in before you took on. Was it Project Mbappe? Were you trying to train the young ones? How did all that come about?
I don't watch football. I don't watch football. I don't play video games. I don't do a lot of things that normal guys would do. Like, I don't get up to
football. So I'm not normal.
I don't get up. You know how most of the time boys are like, hey, we go watch Chelsea, Arsenal. I don't do all that. I also don't get up till we go drink. Like, if I'm an occasional drinker, like when I'm out and you have to drink, we drink. But I'm not sitting in my house saying, today I forgot. They can't mix this thing for my maybe wine. I love white wine, so that one I'll do. But I don't play video games. And you see, the video game one, I had older brothers. Like, I had half brothers too, and when we were kids, right, they'll play video games and leave me out because they say, you're a small boy, wait. So I'd always wait, and when they finish playing the games and they're tired, and then now it's only me, I'm now trying to figure it out. And even down after a while, they'll say the game is out, and then they put it off.
You never really learned how to play soccer like
No, I don't know how to play. Like, if you buy me a PS5, you've wasted your time. I'll probably dash it out. I don't know what to do with it.
Wow.
Same with football. They always used to put me in the post and say, catch the ball, be a goalkeeper. So
but I do well with basketball.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I tried this year. The cardio was too intense for me. That's why I like cycling. Cycling is when you're cycling for competitive cycling, that one the cardio is intense. But when you're cycling casually, you can regulate the cardio and. It's only good when probably. Let's not even get into cycling conversation. Where were we talking?
We were on Juventus.
So Juventus. It's now it comes back to that thing where I say yes to things, right? When I was at Twitter, I used to help like the largest voices, and some of them were footballers. So there was a time that Afinajan, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
Hit me up and he needed help with his account. I think he had a suspension or something. So I assisted, got him out, got his account back, and then I'm like, oh, you need a badge because you are a renowned footballer. So I got him a badge. Next thing I know, this guy hit me up, Massey, who is the Trisaco family and owns Casa Trisaco, owns Juventus, and all that. So he hits me up and he's like, at that time he didn't own Juventus. He hits me up and he's like, oh, he also needs help with his accounts and stuff. So I helped him whatever he wanted to do, and then we became friends. But we became friends on that level where, he's intrigued about my work, supportive of my work. I tell him what I'm doing. He came by Jambo with Koja Samoa, came to see what I'm doing. And then at a point, they got a gig not a gig, like they got a franchise to handle Juventus in Ghana. And I think in his corner, I was like one of the most renowned marketing people. So the brand is a global brand. It needs global alignment. So if you have a franchise like that, you have to make sure that it looks like So it's like, these guys, Juventus people are asking for, do we have a brand person on the team? And you're the only person I can think of. So I need your help. So I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Let's draw something. Let's draw something up where we can do it, and then it takes off from there. Because I have Jambo and other things. So that's how I got into football, like marketing and brand for football, and it's been exciting. I mean, the first season, and I think then the second season now. But the first season was so successful. I grew the pages to 20K or something. I think probably 25K on Instagram, TikTok. I don't know. By that time it was like 50K. I mean, we did a lot of cool engagements. I watched what people were doing in other markets. I went to Dubai to see the Juventus Academy in Dubai. I went to the UK, see that one on my own accord, just because I was doing research and I was going there already. So I went to meet these guys, saw what we're doing, came back, implemented. I think I even implemented it better than them. Yeah, that has been like really also an exciting moment. But yeah, that 6 months over, I moved on to other things, and
I love that.
Yeah.
My last question on your job and your career. No, it won't be the last one. The other one will be, I want to find out about Jambo Space in a minute. Delphina, please kindly give our guest some water, okay? I want to know, okay? I haven't had the opportunity to ask you this, and I don't care whether you've answered it anywhere, but how did the Twitter opportunity come about? And when the opportunity came, did it sound real to you?
So, the funny thing, when Twitter announced that we're coming to Ghana, Jack came to Africa and all that, everybody was forwarding it to me. Because, I built this thing, personality online as that guy, that's the Twitter guy. Like people
the brand guy.
Yeah, if you're not just brand guy, like people say, you're a Twitter guy, like, because I was that's my most active platform. So people see me, the Twitter guy. So when a job came, when an opportunity for them to come to Ghana came,
everybody was looking at you.
This guy, you have to work there because you're a corporate guy, a Twitter guy, you share a lot of your corporate work, you should work there. And I was running my agency, Brand Meister. And when my mind is on like a dream, I don't want to walk away from it till it's done. So in as much as the agency was moving successfully, I just still felt like I want to reach some point before I walk or even get distracted. So every time people send me this thing, I just push it to the side. Charlie, don't come and derail me. Then I think my wife sent it to me.
They succeeded.
And then when she did, I just felt like, okay, this one, I think she just sent it like, something you might be interested in. But I just took it like, is it an indirect way to say, Master, get a proper job? So I went and I saw a role. It says marketing communications. And then I applied. 48 hours, got a rejection. It said
you were initially rejected.
Yeah, so I just put in an application. It says you're not a fit. But these things use an what they call API, whatever. What's the word? The HR thing that checks the CV. It's a software.
System, yeah.
So I think it just go through.
When it rejects, it tells you an HR person will look through it well and reach out if they need to reach out.
Yeah. So it just immediately said, "Oh, you're not a fit." Cool. So I just sent a screenshot to my wife. I'm like,
I tried.
Charlie, I tried my best. But interestingly, my sister My sister is wild like me, or even wilder.
Okay.
So my sister had seen a role she wanted and went to find the hiring manager online, mailed the hiring manager, and gave her reasons why she's the best fit. And this is the thing I say, like, you need to
be intentional.
Like, she did a proper note and said, okay, I've noticed this, I've seen this is what I bring on board, my experience here is going to do this. Immediately she got an interview. So that's how her own started. So at that time she was interviewing. I was always like goading her on, like, get this thing, oh Charlie, no, see, get this thing, get this thing. Like, I was happy for her. And when I did the thing, I told her, listen, I tried, but I'll move on. This is not my thing. I probably need to just focus on my agency. And then I went back to work. Now my sister had even gotten to almost the final stage. They were about to make her an offer. And then one day I just get an email, and it says, it offers me the role senior partnership manager, and then it says that they've been watching me. So it was a lady from South Africa, it was like a headhunter. She said they've been watching me, they've been observing whatever. They've interviewed for that role and they don't seem to be getting the right person. So this role they've crafted, it's for me. Like, they've looked at my how do you call it, like my trajectory, everything, and they think like I'm the perfect fit for this role because of my online presence, because of my experience in brand marketing, how I know personalities, the music, like everything. Because it was a role for senior partnership for sports, entertainment, and news. And I mean, I know all of you guys. Like, I work with you guys from Time, Vodafone, Ton.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, let's have
it. This was not even the role you
It's not a role.
for.
Like, no, it wasn't a role I applied for. When I read the JD of that role, it's like they're describing me.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It just looked like they were describing me.
Wow.
So I'm like, let's do it. And I had a bunch of interviews. I had a bunch of interviews to secure the role. But those interviews were interviews where there were a lot of interviews. There were about 13 interviews.
13 interviews for the role alone.
But the interviews were not interviews where like they were doubting me. It's like I did the first interview with the hiring manager.
Ijoma is getting me angry.
She said, "What if I end?"
No, she can't. Shame on you, eh?
So I did this. The first interview was the hiring manager. That was the only interview that they wanted to just figure me out. After that interview, she was so blown away. Now all the other interviews were like, "Oh, we've heard of you. We want to see." They just want to talk to me.
Fans trying to talk to celebrities.
So they made me talk to other partner managers all over the world. They made me talk to like their heads. Like I talked to everybody except Jack. But it was just like one of those things where we're excited to have you on board, but we want to see who you are. Like some of the
interviews, want to get to know you.
Some of the interviews were back to back. Like when I end one or refresh the next one, like so I can do 4 in a day like that until the final one. Then the rest of the interviews were conversations with HR, negotiating how much I'll be paid and all that.
Okay.
So that's how.
Meister.
That's how I got into Twitter, and once again, it's God. And it's just being intentional, positioning yourself in a way that, like, you'd be surprised at what people are looking at you. Like,
you don't really know who's watching.
I'm sure even you've gotten gigs where someone just comes and be like, "Oh, Rebeskin, we've noticed this. We want to." And
I would follow my boss to a meeting, and I'm just going there to take notes. As soon as I sit, are you not the guy? And this whole Twitter thing, I walked into a company, I think Quick Angels at Osu. As soon as we sat down, one of the partners stood up and said, I know you. Went to the side, called the husband to talk to me because apparently the husband follows me on Twitter and sees that plenty nonsense I've been tweeting. It just cites and relates, said. So it's a really big world, but things are really small.
I really think people should stop being humble about what they are achieving. I share a lot. People will think that this guy every day they post, they do this. Are you the only person working? No, but
people need to know.
People need to know because you don't know who's watching.
It needs to be amplified.
I used to be someone that's like I walk up to people and talk to people, but now I spend a lot of time indoors. I don't do a lot of like physical networking. So my network is largely online. So that's my way of networking. I do something, I share it. people even reach out to me for cycling events. I don't know if you saw.
Talk about cycling.
I went to do this with some guys, Transform Accra. We went cycling with them. I was there. The EU called me when they were doing that their thing. They wanted me to be part of the lead riders. But I was in town. But even because of cycling, sharing my cycling, I'm getting opportunities. So don't keep what you're doing under a basket. Share. Share. When you achieve anything, share. Like when you're doing something, share. You never know. You never know who's watching and who will see and be like, oh my God, I want to do this with this person. Yeah.
Did you, before, the whole change with Twitter becoming X, did you see how far did you see yourself going with Twitter?
Oh my God, that, like, when I think about it now, sometimes it pains me.
I know.
Because the dream was so big. When I joined and I saw the potential, these are people that wanted to rope in Africa to the operations. And my boss was so hyped on the vision. Every day my boss used to tell me, she had worked for Twitter for 10 years, white lady. She told me that she was tired and wanted to leave. But then I came in with like revived energy, and she's never been this excited working at Twitter because of the prospects and the possibilities and what I showed her. Like, they started in Ghana, and even before the year was over, they were trying to get me to hire more partner managers like me, but junior ones across the country. So they wanted some in Nairobi, in South Africa. They basically wanted me to hire up to like 8 people by the end of the second year across the continent. So the possibilities were endless. They wanted to do so much, link Twitter to help creators monetize. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to get creators to monetize. That was like one of the big things they wanted to do, so that creators can make money through Twitter and all that. And I was gonna be like at the forefront of it. Like I was like at the heartbeat of it. So yeah, the dream was endless, but I also believe that things happen for a reason, and that's what properly propelled me into where I am now with Jumbo Spaces. Because if I tell you about the Jumbo Spaces dream, it didn't start as what it is now. It started from something just pretty simple, and every day it opens a new opportunity. Every day it opens a new opportunity, and then we realize how big the job is, or how big the dream is. Yeah.
While you were at Twitter, were there things you did that you regret? Do you think, but I think I would want to know, did they by any chance maintain any of the old workers when they took over, or they let everyone go?
I don't know anyone personally who works there anymore.
Okay.
Except probably someone in how they call it? Was it customer support? Those who help people sort out their customer support stuff. And I don't even know that person personally. I just know there's some guy in Philippines that I still know.
Yeah.
But everyone else that I knew no more works there. Yeah, I think the whole philosophy of the business changed, where Elon doesn't believe that a company needs to be that bloated in size and needs to do the functional things, because Twitter is a platform, and he believes that for it to do the functional things, it should have engineers who keep the platform running, and they should have salespeople that bring revenue. That's all. He doesn't believe in all the fan marketing stuff or partner managers helping creators. No. Those things to him are like just...
He's just looking at it, the numbers bit of it, and
he sees it as fluff. You understand? And so I don't know anybody there now at all. I don't think I know anybody, and I don't know if they've launched products that we were already going to launch. Like I remember I was testing long form, that is making people type longer than the one. I was testing. I even tested it with Joe Wacko, a couple of local whatever. And when he took over, he launched it like it was something that he did. But we tested
it was already there. Great. You went under a lot of criticism during that period for, because you mentioned the partner role, and I mean, you're talking about it today, so I get the clear scope of the things you were supposed to do. Overseeing news, sports, entertainment. Obviously, you had eyes for who had to be amplified. You know, people getting the badges and all that. People went at you so many times. Did any of these criticisms get to your work level where maybe you at some point called and asked why these conversations are going? Because obviously they will see what was going on Twitter. Did it at any point come up?
You see, a lot of people didn't realize that I was in a position where I could put my people on. And I was doing just that. I was just happy to put Ghanaians on. Like, sometimes I'd reach out to a celebrity or someone, the loud voice online myself, and be like, do you want a badge? Or do you want me to change? I remember John Dumelo was there one day, and I just hit him up. I'm like, I think it was John Dumelo 1 or something like that.
Yes,
like,
it was John Dumelo 1.
Do you want me to change it to John Dumelo for you? And he was like, oh, you can do it. I'm like, yes, I can do it. Like, and I only did these things because I realized that, see, those guys were so lost to what was happening in Africa. They didn't know any African celebrities, no content creators, no. And I was just trying to make sure that, like, having a badge, there are opportunities that would come, and if you don't have a badge, you can't get it internally. Because let's say they want to work with a creator to do something, and they check, oh, it's better verified. No. Okay, all right, we need to. Because this time was earned. So when they see you have a badge, they feel like maybe someone gives you because you earned it. Or you were actually renowned, whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to put everybody that matters on this continent on. I'm going to give them a badge. I gave about 800 people badges across Africa, from South Africa to Nigeria to Ghana. And once I believe that, and some of them, they apply, and then all they do is, and when I say give them a badge, I'm not saying that I will just turn your account into, no. When I say give a badge, I would vouch for you. So, like, for example, the people that I reach out to, I'm like, do you want a badge? It's simply me saying, okay, click on this link.
Follow the process.
Upload this, upload that, add this. And when you do all that, and it goes through, I'll put in the system that you're a partner. And then they will now think of whether they should give you or not. But me saying your partner allows you to come to the top of the list of priority. As in, they'll look at it. There are people that I tried to support to get badges that they rejected. Oh, a bunch of people. Like, it happened to a lot of people, and they probably didn't feel it well, didn't upload the right articles. Didn't have the right
online, their stories online and all.
Yeah. So it's not like when I say yes, no, it's yes, no. I will do my best to step in and say, I know the person, or I work with the person, and that's why we need the person. There was a time that they saw that Ajabinto had been verified, and everybody was coming at me, hey, why they verify Ajabinto? You have to follow the girls. But what happened was, there was an email that came through from their team. Someone in Ajabinto's team sent an email that there have been people creating multiple Ajabinto accounts and defrauding people. I said, okay. And so they said they want a badge. I said, okay, send proof of these accounts. The person sent like 14 accounts. Different. Some of them even have grown the following.
More than what he
Not
had.
more than, but like close to. Like, you know how sometimes when you check a follower, you check an account, and you want to see if the account is legit, you look at the following to see.
Account,
so you go, maybe you see 10K. Okay, then the real person. But probably she was, maybe, I don't remember, but she was way more than that. So that account, like this, was like the one that was most notorious. People were sending money to her, to their fake account, and they were just defrauding people. Like, oh, we'll do this for you. Oh, we'll come here. We'll do this, and they ain't doing it. So I'm like, okay, this is a case of impersonation. So I asked them, I sent them a link. It was an impersonation link. So first of all, you need to put in all those people that are like impersonating you. Then I also send you the verification thing to apply. And then when you apply, I would make a case with impersonation so that they give it to you. And that's what they did. They sent all the links. She had links online.
And they took off the accounts that were impersonating
her.
her.
She had links on polls. Like, she had links, a lot of links about her. When you type her, you see news about her. And she put the impersonation stuff, and then I put it through, and then I woke up in the next morning. I saw that she had the badge, and she that thing they used to do. Oh my God, I don't even know why they're doing it. Like when they get a badge, they'll come and say thank you.
So they were tweeting at you.
Yeah, they were tweeting at me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Meister. And there's sometimes, like, I remember there was one guy that I helped him get his badge, and then he said, "Oh, Charlie, I forgot, thank you." And I'm like, "There's no need. You don't need to do it." The guy went to do it, and I think people were just excited to do it because it was a thing. Like, and the people too thought that when they say thank you, that means
you directly influence.
Yes, and when it happens to like that, then it brings more people into my DM. My DM was mess. Like,
I can only imagine.
When I open my DMs, "Oh, please help me verify myself. Hey, help me." There was someone who even messaged me sometimes and said, "Oh, I just lost my dad. Help verify me." And I was like,
did people offer you money to get it done for them?
People were trying to. Yeah, people were trying to. Oh, that one there is. People were trying to. People were saying, "I will send you this." Oh, child. Even the people that had helped the process, and when it goes through, because they've been trying for so long, they're not getting it, and I immediately give them a link, help them, vouch for them, and then it happens. Then they'll say, "Charlie, make a send you more." I'm like, "I beg you, we are not allowed to do that." And so there was only once that there's a team that does like all these supports and stuff, and they don't want people to abuse that power. So they reached out to me and were asking me why everyone is like
coming at you,
thanking me. And people, Ghanaians do that thing where they were tweeting at Twitter and say, "This guy, they collect money."
Exactly.
They verify the girls.
That was where I was asking that they did ever bring you
once. No, it wasn't. So they're very,
like a query.
They're very is it rush? They're very rational, right? Yeah. So they got me on a call, and then they were just asking
what's happening.
They don't understand my work. Like, this is the first time they're in Africa. They've not seen anyone verify people at that pace. But my boss has added it to my KPIs that I should verify at least even 1,000. Like, I should get people verified, people who are in the space, because they've come into the market and they want to work with the loudest voices. So make the loudest voices visible. So her own is like, "Are you doing enough? Like, what else?"
So it was a quota for you. It was actually a KPI.
It was part of my KPI to make sure that if they need help to get verification, I should get it done.
And even the general support, parts of them didn't understand the scope of work.
They didn't understand.
It was a new terrain.
They just think that I've just joined Twitter and all I'm doing is just giving people badges. But it was part of, like, it was on my, OKRs, that I have to, get
it done.
A percentage, not an actual number, so a percentage of loud. We used to call them VITs, very important tweeters. I should get a percentage of VITs verified, and I should provide support to when they ask for it.
So all that mattered was it was your work, and you were getting it done. And once they were going through the process,
of course,
and you were coaching them, you were good.
That's good. Yeah, I was just good.
Zero compliance issue. Nothing.
No issue. The only people who called me to ask me, they were not in my team. They were from like another part of like some country, and they were just handling support stuff, and they've been tasked to check like anomalies, like when they see that okay,
I get it.
All of a sudden in sub-Saharan Africa there's a spike in verifications, then they want to understand what's happening,
what's going on there.
And I just said they just moved into Africa, and it is part of my OKRs to have people recognized, because I'm trying to put everybody on so that we can actually do real work. And they said, "Oh, okay," and they were now so curious. And the funny thing, they had a rep in Ghana who now they put in between me and the verification people, who now would even fast track the thing. So when I send a request, he will just step in quickly, and it's called what's his name? Around his name is Kobna. He will just step in and then facilitate it quickly. So I remember Super Eagles. I got a team verified, like, right, we were about to go play a tournament or something, AFCON, and I got them verified, like, the entire team. So those things take long. I sent, that was called bulk verification. You send the sheet, and then that one you step in for them, like, because they don't, the player doesn't have time. No. They train, you don't have time to go and
once there's verification from the brand.
Yeah, so they send me a sheet, and then I put in all the players. and I put in their details,
yeah.
their accounts, everything,
their IDs,
and then I
boom.
send all that, and I send I will now send the articles because then I have to now put in the articles, and then their the GFA of Nigeria, I don't know what it's
We'll
called,
have to verify.
send a letter that these are players of the team, and then I sent, and that one, like that's about 20 something people, because there are people on the bench and coaches and stuff. All of them just getting badges. Even that one, they come back and say maybe 4 people didn't pass because they don't have a profile picture, or they don't have something.
Because I think there were rules. They needed a bio, they needed a profile picture.
And then they say, "Oh, do something." Then I'll just send an email and be like, "Oh, it didn't work." So, and that Kweku or Kwabena guy would step in and
just get it done,
facilitate it quicker.
Wow.
So, but then people just sit on the sidelines, and it's sad because like I'm trying to help.
Is it because they didn't understand, the work you were doing?
I had a bunch of interviews explaining what I do. But even this is the thing, like if I'm putting people on, why are you bitter? I'm trying to help. Imagine I went into that role and I lock up like
problem for
you can't,
like we will find you for
like
the
you can't reach me. Like people want things done and I'm not.
And I think that's the usual Ghana man thing.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but I was very accessible. Yeah, I was responding to DMs.
Meister, I mean, I'm glad we're rounding up on that. It's unfortunate we might not be able to talk a lot about Jambo's phases because I have like 8 minutes left. But
no, let's do that now before we go.
This is the thing. This is the Ghana thing. You and I travel a lot. You go places and go Audio Mark and the rest. They have Ghanaians there.
Yeah,
but they would want to avoid cases like this. And so they cut everything.
Yeah, and the Nigerians are putting themselves on. So in every room there's a Nigerian out there, and they are putting. How do you think Nigerians are getting to the Grammys? They are rolling with Rihanna. They are doing things because Nigerians are putting themselves on. Ghanaians are not. You'd go every time I work somewhere. I check in the directory to see Ghanaian names. So I'll type Meister and I'll just see the number. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I just do that. Like when I was at Twitter, I'll type Ghanaian names and you see names. They are there, but they're quiet.
They're quiet, yeah. They don't want no issues.
They don't want no issue. The Ghanaians seem like deep. I have a friend that works in Jaguar Land Rover. Like, he's deep in there. Like, he tests the new cars, all that. But he's quiet. He minds his business. Yeah. He doesn't want, because you come and be loud about this info, they'll even let you lose your job.
Someone will go and send an email and mess you up. Let's talk about Jambo Space.
Okay.
My brother, you've told us where the inspiration was from. But when you started, what did you have to put in place for us to see the brand that is now? Because
Jambo.
Yeah.
So, I was running an agency for 7 years. I mean, this is the 7th year. And we started working with creators and influencers. We realized that the budgets that we used to get had now started shifting. People wanted to work with influencers more. And they used to come to our office. We tried launching a platform called Ripple. Which was going against Hoopro,
Did you have to say that?
I mean, it's healthy competition.
My God.
So we were working closely with influencers, and one thing we noticed is that they used to come to our space a lot. They didn't know a lot of things. Like, they just know they have an audience, but they know how to make the money. And they used to come work in our space, just hang out. So we started talking internally that, we want to open a bigger... We want to expand our office so that we can now accommodate these creators and work with them and help them monetize and all that. Some of them will say, manage me, all that. And then we went to find the space where Jambo is now. So initially it was supposed to be a brand Meister office. So like I was saying, it has evolved over time. Yeah. We got there. We started brainstorming, and we do this a lot. We do brainstorms. We're like, you know what? No, let this be a completely new entity. Let it be focused on creators. Let it help the creators. And also, I just look back at my life as a visual arts student, where people didn't think something would come out of it, and also looking at how there are a lot of creatives in Ghana. A lot of creatives. We're only used to you going to school and coming out and being a doctor, lawyer. So when you come out and imagine that math thing, right? Anybody who failed math is probably right now just doing creative work.
That's true.
Think about it. And it could easily derail your life. Like, you might not get a job, you might not be able to do a lot of things just because you failed math. And just because your brain is not wired for numbers. You get what I mean? So we created Jambo. And because we were bootstrapping is just basically as you make money, you put it into the thing. And because we're bootstrapping, we had to build it in phases. We built the studio, we created our office for Meister, and then we created 2 co-working spaces. So a lot of people thought we just created a co-working space, but it's deeper than that. In essence, Jambo is a creator hub. It's an incubator that helps African creators turn their creativity into currency.
Simple.
So, and we offer 3 things. We offer space, education, and resources. Space is music studio, podcast space, co-working space, event space, and all the spaces that helps them. Education is master classes, workshops, and we even have an academy that's launching. I don't know if you've seen us starting to tease it.
What's
if you go on our page, you see the bag is here. If you go to adcaedu.com, adcaedu.com, you will see the homepage. The name of the academy is the African Digital Creator Academy. First ever academy that's going to train our content creators. So if you want to be a content creator or you're an existing content creator and you don't know, you've been fumbling the bag is here. Like, we are about
to already.
Yeah, it's here. Like, Adca is going to help you secure the bag. So we are launching the academy in January. We've started taking details so that people can now start applying. And that's going to be Jambo's flagship product. The dream, like today I'm telling you here, and I hope maybe I come here in 2 years and we talk about it. The dream is to have
1 year.
A whole campus that is going to be teaching people how to monetize their content and be content creators.
Powerful.
So, like right now, a lot of people go to school for arts, whatever, but we want to, like, if you're a radio person and you want to create content on your TikTok and make it a big thing and then make money.
Showing us how to do it.
Yeah. So there are 5 courses. We have brand building. I'll be teaching that myself.
Perfect.
We have photography and videography. Clopas, I don't know if you know Joshua Clopas, really good guy. He's going to be teaching that. We're going to have guests, people like Nicole and the rest who will come in. We have legal and copyright, which is going to teach people how to do contracts and point out, because a lot of creative people are taken advantage of by music labels, by
agencies,
because they don't read contracts, they just want to create. And then that's the 3rd course. And we have pitching and storytelling. So helping people to, you and I might post the same thing online, but I might even have less followers than you, and I might have more traction, and you will not understand, but just probably because of how I crafted the post. Also, you might have an idea, and it might be better than another person, but you realize that person is getting funding for his idea. It's just how he pitched it and the story, and sometimes we pitch ideas and it feels too unemotional and you don't get anybody to support. But I might come and tell you something and the story and the thinking behind it might say, no, I want to give this guy money. So we are teaching them that. So that's the pitching and storytelling. I think the last one is content monetization. Just basically using your platform to help you make money. So that launches in January. But we would the site is up now. So if you want to be a content creator, just go put your details there. It's adcaedu.com, adcaedu.com.
Perfect, Charlie. Thank you so much, and I'd like to commend you on you're doing some very great partnerships. The biggest podcast in Ghana right now is a partnership project, by you and I think a Nigerian brand.
Yeah. So we just gave them space. We are a location partner. The first season is over. I don't know if we'll be doing the next season because it's up to them, but we were a location partner, and the beautiful thing is that we manage the girls. 2 girls on the podcast. We manage Amabel and we manage Gisela. And recently started managing Odemaya. And
I like how you said that silently, quietly.
I mean that's one. We have some big plans for that. And we are in talks with a creator that everybody wants to see create.
I feel you. That's the guy. But Master, thank you so much. We're 12 on the dot. I still have a bunch of things to do before the show ends, but I really enjoyed it.
Was it 1 hour?
2 hours.
Hey, I've been talking for 2 hours.
2 hours, and you did a lot of the talking. But I enjoyed it. I love interviews like this when people have stories to share. I love it. I just wish I think the last time I spoke to you here, I told you I need extra time. Today we have the extra time, and I still need more. I mean, we appreciate you. I know a lot of people listen today, and I've picked so much. There are a bunch of young people out there uncertain about their future. There are people who have already stepped in. They are picking their lives by force, but they are really lost. I believe that this show has really given people the need to look at certain things 2 times. You know, people have picked bits and bits of what they do, but we just want to wish you the best. You know, YFM is a youth brand. We support young people making a change in our society. So our doors are always open. You know it. We always support you. And some of us are here constantly supporting and moving, you know, the agenda to the top, Meister agenda. So anytime, just call on us. And I know we will have this conversation again in a different space. But please, the content creation thing, we are on. We need it. We are signing up. Delphina, the team, and I, we're signing up. We're even signing guns. Keep the age limit permitting.
Delphina, the great content pass.
Yeah. She's a content.
Snapchat.
Hey, Snapchat, this matter you want to talk for here. Thank you so much.
But I just want to add that just my last advice to young people out there. A lot of us are afraid to do things because of failing or because of what people will say. So if I do it anyway, no catch, what will happen? I mean, just do it. That's just the thing that makes me move. I just do it. So just do it. Don't be afraid of failing. When you fail, so what? You move on. Just keep doing. Just try. Like, if you do it when it picks up, you see the way people will be following you and trying to. So just do it. Like, we're so scared that we never do it. And we'll be there. We have ideas and we don't do it because of what people will say. Hey, so this guy is selling this. What if you no catch, you no be? Like, just do it. So just do it.
Just go ahead and do it. That's what's on Meister. My guest on Yleaderboard series today. A big thank you to MTN Ghana, proud sponsor of the Yleaderboard series.
YTV, yearn for more.